It is enough that the people know there was an election. The people who cast the votes decide nothing. The people who count the votes decide everything.
It was
In the Soviet
Stalin's aphorism that came to my mind while we were watching a play called Aston Villa AGM 2025. Hello and welcome. The plot of this play is well known. One family band in a residential complex have been gradually buying up units until they have a majority of unit entitlements in the complex. Then they hold an AGM at which they elect themselves to the committee. Potentially unfair decisions, power imbalances, increased levies and the neglect of common property maintenance is the aftermath of such election. One puts faith in the strata management company and the returning officer to do right things and relay the votes properly. But what happens if they are most probably taking sides and not doing things by the book? 2025 elections made it clear that only loyal to the ruling family people and companies can be elected or appointed. However, such loyalty and personal morality as well as professional ethics often find themselves at odds. Years of voting power dominance resulted in exertion of significant influence over the body corporate's decision-making process. In many cases, the self-serving committee prioritizes their own interests over those of the minority, which leads to the decisions that are not beneficial to the whole scheme. Today in Aston Villa, we have a demolished front fence, inadequate lighting, tripping, sleeping hazards throughout the complex, and the water bills that have gone through the roof. I'm really curious, how can we encourage committee members first to understand laws and secondly to think for themselves rather than being influenced by others? Here is an example. The committee in the neighborhood Blue Bay complex was run by the same one family band, and they experienced the same problems. The maintenance and upkeep of the common property was not this committee priority, and some actions of the office bearer were perceived as unfair and detrimental for the community. The lot owners called an AGM and tabled the motion to remove the committee member under the relevant section of BCCM Act. Today, a year later, Blue Bay owners regained full financial freedom and completed the jobs that had been approved several years before, but had never been carried out. This whole process reassured me that for all the faults in strata, and they are many and great, it is at the end of the day democracy in its rawest form. If enough like-minded people pay attention, get together and flex their voting muscle, they can change their little corner of the world for the better and protect it for the future. Thank you for joining me today, and until next time,